G'day guys, and welcome to episode 2 of Joystick Arcade. And oh boy, we've got a show for you today. What's on the show today, Mick?
Rip and tear until it is done.
Okay, he's not very talkative today. Oh well, let's just get straight into it today. We're going to be ripping and tearing into Doom Eternal and taking on the hellish landscape. And we'll also be taking it nice and slow into the wholesome content that is Animal Crossing New Horizons. As well as stay tuned for our giveaway announcement for the Borderlands 3 winners. How about we get into it? You're not talking to me or something? Oh shit!
So the current rumor on the internet right now is that Sony is looking at acquiring a few Konami IPs, which is massive. We're looking at Metal Gear Solid, Silent Hill, and potentially Castlevania. Now this is big news, as Konami has taken the rights of Metal Gear Solid for a while now and done a pretty garbage job of it. So if Metal Gear Solid can get back into the hands of Hideo Kojima, we're going to have some bangers on our hands for sure. And on top of that, Sony has been looking at reacquiring the rights for Silent Hill for some time for a potential reboot or remake of the series. We're not too sure just yet, but I would love to see them go back to their roots like the original Silent Hill 1. And on top of that, Xbox coming out with some wins this week as well. The Series X console, scheduled for release at the end of this year, has been formally shown off through a few content creators on YouTube. And let me tell you, it's looking like an absolute beast of a machine. We've got full backwards compatibility from Xbox One all the way down to the original Xbox. We've also got lightning fast loading times for games. So you can have, I think they set up to around 4 games in like a pending loading state. So you can swap between them pretty much instantly, like how multitasking works on a smartphone, for example. And then on top of that, the expandable storage as well is running proprietary this time, but it allows you to store more games on the console and allow those lightning fast loading times as well, which is just bloody awesome in my opinion. I'm excited to see what Microsoft put out, and I think they might have a winner on their hands this year. But Whipper, tell us about the PS5. I think they mentioned a few things as well.
Yes, PS5 had quite a long keynote announcement, but not much physically shown off. But we did get a lot of statistic details. First off, backwards compatibility. At this time, only for PlayStation 4 Pro and PlayStation 4 titles, but they're doing a lot of testing to make sure the games are optimized and working. No word of any PS3 or lower yet. He's hoping we do, but I'm staying cautiously optimistic. When it comes to the storage as well, it's using a custom SSD at 825 gig. Yes, bit of a weird storage number, but it's also lightning fast, with them boasting that the PS5 will have no load times. They even commented and stated fast travel won't even require any kind of animation or any kind of loading screen. It'll just happen. That's what's impressive about it as well. They're also releasing a new audio engine called Tempest to give it a higher fidelity 3D audio, something you're probably going to be interested in.
Right, oh, that sounds pretty interesting, honestly, Whipper. I'm excited for the PS5. I'm a big Sony fan, as you guys know, and to see what both consoles come out with this year, the Series X and the PS5, I think we're going to have some absolute winners on our hands this year. So there's going to be some fantastic games, and I'm so pumped for E3 that's just around the corner.
Oh yes, whether it's in person or digital, doesn't matter, we are pumped. It is time to rip and tear into the sequel of Doom 2016, that is Doom Eternal. Hell's armies have invaded Earth, and it is up to you as the Slayer to end the invasion by ripping and tearing until it is done.
That's right, this game has endless amounts of gore, violence, and just pure brutality. That's right, I'm talking about getting your shotgun and pumping it into the faces of demons, destroying their brain cavities. It is glorious in every single way. And then on top of that, you've got those, remember the giant cacodemons, where the big red blobs of just hell. And then you've got the weak points as well with the bigger enemies. You can shoot your grenade into the cacodemon and then it will swallow it and try to eat it because it thinks it's food, because all it wants is food because it's really, really hungry. But then it will blow up and then you get a weak point and then you can rip its eye out and it goes kaboom! It's amazing! And then on top of that, you've also got the incredible, thick, chugging soundtrack from Australian composer Mick Gordon. Now, this is an absolute favourite of mine. I've been pumping this on my way to work pretty much every day in the lead up to this game. It is just a work of art, honestly. Think about heavy, down-tuned, 8-string guitars, and then on top of it, really heavy, dark sounding bass lines in this concocted soundscape of hell. And it sounds absolutely beautiful. Like, think about metalcore had a baby with dark synth, and you've got the Doom Eternal soundtrack. It is something else. I've never heard anything like it, and honestly, I wish Mick Gordon would go out there and release an independent album, because I would pump that on daily. It would be awesome.
And it just adds to the experience of the actual game itself as well. It throws you into its world. I was actually in a trance playing it, and it took you knocking on my door to snap me out of it. Huh? What? I didn't realize I was still in the real world. I was in the game. I was that immersed. And another one of its key experiences as well and features is its leveling and skill system. Now, the whole core of this game is that you are building the Doomslayer to your specifications. That's right. You get to build your own Doomslayer. And oh my god, there is just an absolute slaughter of things you can do with this guy. Alright? First off, the weapons. The weapons, at first, you'll feel like, I hope I'm going to get some better weapons that are going to do more damage. No. You get to mod the weapons. You then get to upgrade those mods, and then by spending weapon points that you earn within the game just by completing objectives in the map, you get to mastery mod those upgrades as well. That's right, upgradeceptions. Upgrades on upgrades on upgrades. They eventually become the extension of the Doomslayer's body, because by the time you're top leveled, you are the weapon. The gun's just a tool at that point. That's how visceral it gets. And speaking of those upgrades, the Doomslayer gets upgrades as well. Not only do you get abilities like the Blood Punch, where 2 glory kills, and then your next punch will send out a shockwave that kills and damages demons within an area. The all-necessary dash ability to help with the traversal of the map, as well as in combat. It makes it an absolute necessity with how close quarters these battles can get. And then on top of that, you also get runes, which these are game changers. They can range from more mobility in the air, faster glory kills, and even an ability which I have nicknamed Too Angry to Die, where you survive a death blow, time slows down for you so you can escape, and you get to get in a couple of free kills. I just love it. I absolutely love the absolute upgradability of this guy. And in saying that, there are other ways to upgrade him in the, I am not kidding, this is the name, Fortress of Doom. What an absolute epic sounding name. You can upgrade him with more ways using Praetor Suit points, as well as fight in the Ripatorium.
The Ripatorium, this is one of my favorite things about the game. You can just spawn enemy after enemy and destroy them in any way you see fit for as long as you want.
With no consequences. If you die, who cares? Just go back in.
That's right. You don't have to worry about losing health or running out of ammo. You're all set to rip and tear until it is done. But that's not the only thing that's worthy of ripping and tearing. That's right, the Doom Collector's Edition. Now, this is something worth talking about because We haven't seen anything like this before. I mean, kind of yes and no, but on this scale. Now, I want to pull this out. This is the Doom Slayer helmet, and it is bloody awesome. I love it. It fits comfortably, and you get to pretend you're the Doom Slayer. What's not to love?
It's also got lights on the front of it as well, just to add more to that aesthetic. And surprisingly enough, wearing it, it's actually quite comfy.
That's right. I mean, it fits on your head pretty well, and it's a pretty good snug fit. That being said, if you wear glasses like myself and Whipper here, probably don't recommend wearing the glasses inside. It's pretty tight to get it in and then get it off again. But if you take your glasses off, you can slip the helmet on just fine, which I'll demonstrate like this. Like that. It's beautiful. It's pretty tight in here, but you can breathe just fine. It's okay. And honestly, I could probably take a whack to the head with this thing on. Not saying you should do that, but in the emergency situation that you need to grab a helmet, this thing should just be able to take a hit. So I guess it doubles as a protective piece of gear as well. Thanks, Whipper. You saw it here first. Tried and tested.
JA seal of approval.
Now, give us your thoughts, final thoughts on Doom Eternal, Whipper. What do you think?
To me, this is what Doom is all about. It's absolutely fast-paced, ultra-violent action that had me in a trance. Like I mentioned earlier, the music just gets my blood rushing every time, and it was just so much to take in at once. Every battle felt so satisfying, so frantic. And that's what's great about Doom. It was great about Doom 2016. They just took what was amazing about that, brought it into this game, improved it, and then added in some old classic elements such as the scoring system, the access cards, as well as getting the ammo by killing the enemies. It was just an absolute fantastic experience. For me, it's going to be a 9 out of 10 from me.
Look, I loved all of the extreme gore and violence. Like, stuff like that just appeals to me. I just want to be able to get into a game, muck around, shoot things, destroy things in any way possible. And for me, Doom is that type of game where I can accomplish that. As well as the upgrades and being able to make yourself become the weapon, that is just a treat on top. And then, of course, the banging soundtrack from Mick Gordon. It can't get any better than that. But the multiplayer aspect of the game felt pretty lackluster in my opinion. It's something which, look, can fall a little bit, made it drop a few points. It's nothing crazy. You pretty much got your typical deathmatch modes and a few other game modes where you can chase after the Slayers as demons or the Slayers can chase after you. Personally, I found it nothing crazy. When I play Doom, I'm there for the single player experience. I'm not there to play a multiplayer game. And I had to knock a few points off for that because I'd love to see a multiplayer aspect of Doom actually do really well. I think it could have potential to be a competitive game. But on top of that, I think 8 out of 10 from me for the game. It's great. It's got a few little quirks it could probably do to make better. I think the ammo was a little bid rare to find in some cases, but again, chainsawing fixes that right away. But look, 8 out of 10 from me. I'm expecting to see more from the guys at id Software, and I hope the game has a great future ahead of it. So welcome back to Off the Shelf, the segment where we take a look at some old games or some new games from our own personal collections, as well as show off any pickups that we might have gained during the week. Now, I actually got some pretty cool pickups this week, which I'm very excited to show off, and I'd love to show them to you guys. So, first and foremost, Dragon Quest VIII on the PS2, Journey of the Cursed King. This game is an absolute classic for the console and really set the way for JRPGs moving forward. It's a brilliant adventure. I've been playing Dragon Quest XI on my Switch lately, actually, and I'm having a blast, so I'm really keen to see how the game played back on the PS2 and its giant transition to 3D environments, because prior to this, the game was actually 2D. So, really interested to see how that goes. And then, of course, now for those who know me, I'm a big Half-Life fan. This game, oh, mate, it's the bee's knees. And to have it on the PS2 is just a treat. It plays quite differently to the PC version, I've been told. And then on top of that, it also has the Half-Life Decay co-op experience in there. So I think it's going to be something you and me will have to try out on the couch, perhaps.
I think so.
Absolutely. And then on top of that, a sealed copy of Psychonauts on the PS2. Yeah.
That's been sealed for about 14, 15 years.
That's right, 14, 15 years. And I'm not going to open it. I'm going to get another copy of the game that is unsealed so I can play it. Because this game, it has just a huge cult following. And in my eyes, is an absolute gem.
That's rare for you to keep something sealed.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in games need to be opened and played. But honestly, having this in my possession has changed my mind a little bit. I think I'm going to get another copy. It's honestly not a too expensive game, and I'm not too phased, but I mean, I'd like to have another copy, just in case, because it looks nice having it sealed, and it's pretty cool. And then last but not least, you've already been seeing it on my lap just here, Resident Evil 4, the Steelbook from the UK PAL region. Now, this game, as we all know, is another classic, but it's the Steelbook, and we didn't see PS2 Steelbooks in Australia. They're only released in the US and European PAL regions. So having this as a Steelbook is beautiful, and I really want to get a PS2 Steelbook collection going because there weren't that many released. I think Metal Gear Solid 3 got one.
Metal Gear Solid 3, as well as Driver Parallel Lines, we started getting Steelbooks towards the end of the PlayStation 2 generation.
Yeah, that's right. We did start to get PS2 Steelbooks towards the end of the generation, and as you know, PS3 and 4 onwards, we have plenty of Steelbooks. So I'm keen to rip into this one and see how it plays, because I'll be honest, one of my biggest gaming sins, haven't played Resident Evil 4, so gonna have to give it a go, I think. But that's not why you're here. You're here for this. Actually, no, you are here to see pickups, and you're here for this too. So, 2 in 1. Yeah, how about that? Digimon World 2003 on the PS1. An absolute classic. Classic game.
One from your childhood.
Absolutely. This is one from my childhood. I put over 1,000 hours into this, and I'm pretty sure my memory card for this game is in one of the boxes over there. So, if I can get a PS1 back in my possession again, I'm going to fire this up and see how it plays. But the game follows you and your mates being transported to the digital world by being digitized through these fancy smancy devices in the real world, because you want to join the online MMO sensation that is not World of Warcraft. It is called Digimon World. And it is honestly better than World of Warcraft if it was real, because let's be honest, I think we'd all love to be digitized into an online MMO environment, because that would be sick. But you get to choose 3 Digimon to come with you and take you on this ginormous journey through this amazing region. And on top of that, you can train your Digimon, you can level them up, you can evolve them, you can get your champions, ultimates, megas, and you follow this amazing story of trying to save the digital world from these evil people who are trying to take it over for their own personal reasons. I won't spoil it, because it's actually a pretty cool story, and I actually really enjoyed it growing up. Now, Whipper, I believe you got to have a go of this earlier.
This was the first time I played Digimon World 2003. I remember playing as a child the original Digimon World, and comparing it to Digimon World, the original, felt more like a 3D version of like the little Digimon Tamagotchi style devices, whereas this felt more like a JRPG style game. Now, the first thing I discovered was that it did not hold your hand. You had to pay attention to a lot of things in the game. You had to pay attention to a lot of little nuances, like, for example, it was telling me to go find this one place and go talk about the card battling system there. Didn't tell me how to get there, didn't give me any clue as to where it was, it just says go find it. And I think I spent about an hour before I looked up a walkthrough. Gonna admit, I resorted to a walkthrough, and there were no YouTube walkthroughs or anything back then. No. This was all text-based. ASCII style. We're talking old school. Lots of data you had to go through. Table of contents. So I had to go back to a lot of old styles of gaming that I have not done in a long time. And I felt really old playing this game. But I didn't hate it. I was sitting here and thinking, it's amazing how JRPGs have evolved since then. And then I thought, hang on, this game was marketed at kids? I'm an adult and I'm having trouble with this. It just goes to show what your thought process was like back then.
Absolutely, and I want to point out again, this game certainly does not hold your hand, and it heavily relies on you having to pay attention to what the people are telling you in game. And if you have to walk away and save, which mind you, you can't save just through the start menu, you have to go to an inn and save there instead. And you have to just keep a mental note or literally write it down of what your next objective is, because it's very easy to forget where you've left off from, which I had a personal experience while recording the footage for this game. And then on top of it, the battling system is great. It is turn-based, very typical cliche for an RPG of the time. And you know what? It's simple and it's easy. You know, you can do your base attack, you can do special attacks, you can use your items, you can swap Digimon out, and then of course you can run away if you don't feel like battling at the moment. And it's fun. It doesn't feel like it's a grind. Now, this game is extremely grindy. Extremely grindy.
Old school grindy.
Yeah. But the thing is, it doesn't feel like a giant chore, which is really interesting because a lot of other games, they have grind mechanics in there. You got to grind to level 99 or whatever, or level 50 to get this, and you feel like, oh, far out. I have to go level up 30 times to get the next item. But this, it feels rewarding because when you're leveling up, you get rewarded along the way by getting new Digi-Evolutions, by finding new items, by unlocking other areas. It's something which rewards you for your hard work, which at the time was something quite new, honestly. A lot of other games were doing it too, but not like this. And being rewarded for your grind is something which I'll cherish in a lot of RPGs because it just makes it worth it. You don't feel like you're wasting time. Now, as I was saying, this game is a banger, and anyone who hasn't played it needs to acquire it somehow and play it. It is a brilliant, brilliant gem. I really mean that, guys.
Unfortunately, there's no simple way to play it other than just picking up a copy somewhere, digging out your PlayStation 1 and playing it. Make sure you find your memory card because there's a lot of gameplay here.
Yeah, it's a beast of a game. Over 100 hours to complete the game. If you got a memory card somewhere on PS1 and you can acquire this game, definitely go and play it. It's a classic and I can't recommend it higher. It just encapsulates that classic JRPG experience. And you know what? I wish the sequels were like this because the sequels honestly were a bit... we might touch on those in another episode, but for now, Digimon World 2003 is a classic, it's a banger, and is just a great blast from start to finish.
Have you ever wanted to just up, walk away, abandon life, go off to a deserted island with your friends, build a new society, maybe pitch a tent and live the nomadic lifestyle? Well, now you can in Animal Crossing New Horizons, the sequel to the much-loved game Animal Crossing New Leaf, but it's on Nintendo Switch.
That's right, you're immediately greeted by Tommy and Timmy, who presents you the best island getaway package you have ever seen. This puts those P&O cruises that you see on OzBargain to shame. But then, you get to customize your character to however you like and choose from one of 4 island getaways. Now, all the islands look a little bit similar to one another. They've got rivers, rock formations, a few little mountain inclines, and a lot of land you can pitch tents and build a town around on. Now, that's not all. As soon as you jump in your plane and head off to your mystery location destination, you are greeted by the most evil, corrupt, mastermind, debt collector known to man, Tom Nook, and he's actually a really nice guy. He gives you a tent, gives you the supplies you need, and gives you a really sweet phone called the Nook phone. And on the Nook phone, you have many cool options like taking pictures, customizing your clothing, the Nook Miles, and on top of that, you can also arrange a rescue if you ever get stuck and talk to your friends as well.
Now, what are Nook Miles, you might be asking? Nook Miles are the in-game currency that Tom Nook lovingly converts from your $49,000 bill all the way down to 5,000 miles. Now, you earn these miles by completing in-game objectives, and they can be as simple as talking to a certain amount of island folk, catching a certain amount of insects, catching a certain amount of fish, building certain buildings or X amount of buildings. Very easy things you do as you're building your island slowly. They range from really simple numbers like 10 fish, 10 bugs, up to 100, couple of hundred. It just goes on. And you'll accumulate these points quite quickly and quite naturally. And it was one of the most fun experiences. I didn't realize how many points I accumulated. By then I'd nearly paid off my debt to the guy. And not only that, the game features real-time tracking. It not only tracks your time, like in the real world, so if it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon here, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon in the game, and it reflects with the way the sun is going, so it's getting darker, it's afternoon. It also tracks your seasons. It also tracks your hemisphere. That's right at the start of the game, they actually ask you what hemisphere you live in, so that it actually matches up to the real world for you.
That's right, and on top of that, the game at its very core is a social game. And that's where the multiplayer aspect comes into play. Now, you can do this online or locally with your mates. And we tried out the local play, we tried out the local play, and it's a little bit weird in how it works. It wasn't quite what I was expecting. Now, you can follow along a leader, you can join their island, and you can follow them along and pick up bugs, fish for them, but the leader gets pretty much the overall say of what's happening. They can create the items, they can also pick stuff up, other things up off the ground, and they control pretty much everything that the followers are seeing. Now you can have up to 3 other followers with you, making a total of 4, but I believe online you can have up to 8, I think. And that, I think, would create a really awesome situation where you can have 8 friends with you on your island, creating what's like a mini town, and everyone's just doing their part to create this really cool virtual society. But I think with the multiplayer aspect, it still needs a little bit of work. I think giving the followers more freedom to do what they want would certainly be a huge hit for the game in the future.
Nintendo have always struggled with multiplayer offerings when it comes to their games. Now, whether this has been due to, not much experience with online, or them wanting to retain as much control of it to keep its wholesome aspect, we can't really tell. I just hope that over time with this game, they either improve the multiplayer more, or they just improve multiplayer in general with their games.
Look, this game is everything which I was asking for from Animal Crossing. It's the perfect sequel to New Leaf. It's fun, it's friendly, it's wholesome, and you can just lose endless amounts of time doing it. And one thing I love about it is you now kind of know what you need to do. You just have a sense of knowing, okay, I need to pick some apples, I need to go catch some fish, I need to get some bugs, some fossils, I need to talk to my friend in this house over here, I need to see how the other guy's going. You just have a sense of direction this time, which I felt was lacking in New Leaf. And now I'm not getting lost. I feel like I'm actually making a meaningful improvement on the island and making it better every single day. And I can't wait to see what else the game has got in store, because this is one of those games which just never ends. It continues on and on and on. And with that, it's just, the perfect sequel from New Leaf. It's everything I was asking for in a new Animal Crossing. I know for everybody else, it was everything they've been asking for. And just with the multiplayer on one side, it's gonna knock a point off for me. But that doesn't stop me from giving it a 9 out of 10. I love this game, and I can't wait to see what Nintendo do with it, with DLC perhaps, or anything else that they do to plan on supporting the game in the future. Whipper, what are your thoughts?
Admittedly, it was my first ever experience with an Animal Crossing game, bar the little experience at Anime Fest here in Sydney that I got to play New Horizons, which I tried the multiplayer there. Now, I didn't expect to like this game, but I actually quite loved it. It made me want to, wait for a rainy day, snuggle up in a rug and have a coffee or tea with some biscuit, like Tim Tams or something like that, and just get comfy and lose myself in this world. It was fantastic. It was just such a shame the multiplayer aspect for me kind of ruined it a little. Not to the point where I'd say the game's not worth it. The game is 100% worth it, and online is great. So it's a great social aspect. Just the local and the way the leadership system's done could be improved. However, swapping leadership is actually quite simple. Just with a simple shake of a controller and someone gets to pick who is the leader. For me, it's an 8 out of 10. I can't wait to see how much more they can do with this game. We're talking like, I'm sure there's aspects for DLC or extra content. It's a bright future for Animal Crossing, sorry. Animal Horizons. Welcome to Last Round, where we go head-to-head in a fighting challenge. Today's challenge, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Animal Crossing characters and levels only.
Villager versus Isabel, the showdown of the century. Let's get it.
Let's do it.
1, go!
Mate, you trying to hook me or something? Whoa!
What the hell was that?
What the heck was that? Get out of here, mate. Hey, this is the Battle of the Umbrellas, thank you very much.
There's your umbrella.
Whoa! Oh, that was close. Dude, this is getting really spicy really quick. Oh crap, we've got like less than a minute left. I've got us alive.
One,
It's
time!
gonna be sudden death. Oh my god.
Sudden death, go!
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Man, what a month has it been already. We've had so many smashing game releases, and it's not over yet. Next week, we've got the online co-op Bleeding Edge from Ninja Theory on the PC and Xbox One, as well as a deep dive into the PS5 and Xbox Series X architecture. I'm excited to check these out and see how good they are, and are they going to come up head to head? Who's going to come out on top? Let's find out. And then, of course, our giveaway winners from our giveaway that we ran last week for 3 copies of Borderlands 3 on the PC, the Epic Game Store Edition. Huge congratulations to Crimson, Young Sinatra, and Wingless Whistle for winning a copy of Borderlands 3 on the PC. We'll be in your DMs very shortly, or sending you guys an email so you guys can collect your codes. But that's not it on the giveaway section. We've also got another giveaway running for this week, so make sure you check the link below in the description for a copy of Year 5, the Season Pass for Rainbow Six Siege, or Warlords of New York for Division 2. I have both of these, and they're bloody amazing. So if you love it like I do, check out the giveaway in the description below. Make sure you enter, and hopefully you'll come out on top, because we'll announce the winners next week's episode. So guys, make sure you leave a comment down below. Tell us, what games did you love come out this month? Doom, Animal Crossing, anything else you're keen on? Let us know, and be sure to like and subscribe if you want to see weekly videos from ourselves reviewing all the latest games, taking throwbacks on older games, going head to head in the last round. If you love the content, drop a like. If it wasn't your thing, feel free to drop a dislike. But guys, we'll see you again in the next one. But before I wrap up, I think Whipper's not really talking that much at the moment. He's giving me that look, the dirty. Yeah, I see what you're doing, big boy. I see what you're doing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh shit!